All right, trying to do my pin chest here. So let's go to the let's go in and play some golf here. I'm trying not to play any of the tours with the tournament holes in them. Just trying to go out there and have some fun, play some T7. See if we can stay in the fairway, fairway to green, fairway to green. That's the whole deal. Fairway to green. If you play fairway to green, T7 is like an ATM machine. So for those of you that are playing up to T7, working on your clubs, the deal is if you stay in the fairway and go fairway to green, you will win about 66% of your matches, if not 75% of your matches. So the whole goal is to just stay in the fairway. Let your opponent bring out whatever they want to bring out. Similar trophy count. They've rushed up here to try and work on their clubs, so they have an expert rating. So if they have an expert rating, this is the deal where people go, yeah, but you're playing up there. Hey, dude, you rushed up to get to expert, and so that you could work on your clubs, and you got yourself an expert rating, and now you're going to bitch because you're playing against somebody else who has an expert rating. If you don't want to play against experts, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. It's actually 2-1 per ring, so there's about 9-4. Somewhere in that neighborhood. Hitting it perfect. Just trying to stay in the fairway over there. Fairway to green. That's the way to play these. And that's the risk on that side right there, is that you'll overshoot. Especially with a tailwind, it's going to roll just a little bit. Let's see if they can get over this time. Using their APOC 2. Be curious to see what level extra mile they have. They probably have like an extra mile 6, maybe a 7 at that trophy count. But they've definitely, in order, think about how much cash flow you got to win to get expert, to go to expert. So you're going to have to play either a lot of T6, or once you start playing some T7, then you'll get into that bracket where you can get promoted up to the expert. The thing about coming to this hole is it's better from over on this side if you've got a big topper, or excuse me, a big dog. And we are like, I'm going to come back just a little. 7-4. 6 is a full ring set. It's 1.2 per ring. So there's 6. There's 7-2, and a little bit more, just because we're going against that headwind. Max curl. And just try and get it around the tree. Where I'd really like to be is out there towards the fringe, right off the green, so they have a chip to get on. I would have liked to have been a little bit closer than that. But that will work. Let's see if my opponent can get up there and get it in. The sniper's not a bad choice here because you got all that topspin. The thing about the sniper is it doesn't have the rod distance, so you'll end up on this side of those trees, and then it's a little bit harder to get around the trees. Where if you have a big dog or a guardian's not the super preferred club here because it doesn't have tons of topspin, but it's got better ball guide than the big dog. Could go either way. Let's put all the topspin on. Where I'm at, wind is going to play a little bit of a factor, but the wind's kind of going with me. So I'm just going to go right off that edge of the cup. Try and hit it perfect. Hit a one ring great to the left. In the hole. Eagle. Fairway to fairway to green, or fairway to cup in this situation. Good game. And it doesn't matter what kind of clubs your opponent has. If they end up in the rough like that on these types of holes and you play from the fairway, you're going to win. What it does is it forces them to have to make that big hero shot. And it's not that your opponent can't make that shot. It's just that if they, they haven't done themselves any favors by putting themselves in the rough. So if you stay out of the rough, what will happen is they're either going to sink that great shot coming in, and you got to give them props, man. I mean, if your opponent hits that shot, hey, great shot, encourage them. But if they don't, put the hammer down, stay in the fairway. Don't look at it as like, hey, my opponent just ended up in the rough and I can go for that wild shot. If you're out playing and you're just messing around and you're practicing for a tournament, maybe you're going to do that. But if you're out, you're trying to win chess, or you're grinding it out for your clan, then, you're trying to get your clan points because your clan has some requirement. The whole deal is don't open the door. Lay it up. Keep your ball in play. Fairway to green. What are the best sand, wedge, and rough irons in the game? The ones I never have to pull out of my bag. For me, the whole deal is that different clubs have different purposes. And so, like, what are you looking for in a long iron? Sometimes in tournament holes, it's 2.1 per ring, so I'm going to do a ring pull. In tournament holes, we are looking for something specific. Maybe it's one of those holes that you really need to do backspin on. So you want to bring, a long iron that's got some backspin, or you need to bring a short iron that's got some backspin, or there's some deal on that hole. But like when you're out in one-on-one play, what are you looking for in your clubs? So like when you're matching stuff up, if you've got multiple bags, like one of my bags is always going to be a big topper, big dog. Those clubs I think are very complementary of each other. They have their own issues. They're not super accurate. Even when you get them in upper developed, you're still in the 2 per ring, but they're more like an extra mile accuracy. They're not the 2.8 or the 2.4 that they start off with. And they get a little bit of ball guide, but they're never, like huge ball guide clubs. But they got tons of curl. They've got tons of topspin. They've got good distance. The big topper, when you get it completely maxed out, has awesome distance, but it one of the things about playing in rookie tournaments is that you will get a lot of club cards for that. That was a nice shot. Nice shot. Close. That was a very nice shot on our opponent's part. Encourage your opponents. Hey, if they shoot a great shot, give them some props. We need to have fun in this game. Sometimes you just get out there and people beat you, and that's fine. The key thing is don't beat yourself. All right, mogul. $1.1 per ring, so there's 5.5 as a full ring set. I'm going to go just a little over a full ring set. I'll have to snap it off, and I hit it great to the left. couldn't get the ball guide. I knew it was going to travel forward, so I had the distance there. If I'd hit that perfect, that would have been much better. It would have been close. The deal is there's a spot out there that you can get to where you can hop over that mogul, where you don't ever engage it, so you can get that good feel for it. I probably could have got it in that area. I was so close to the red line right there. I would have needed to put some backspin on it in order to get the bounces right. I needed like 60 more seconds. Forcing a shootout. All right. Don't be afraid of shootouts. If you lose it, what you want to do is you want to walk away with some knowledge on it. And your first knowledge set is all about speed. For me, these shootouts are all about speed. It doesn't matter. In most cases, I find that it doesn't matter whether you hit something great to the left or the right. It's all about speed. If you got your speed right, when your ball stops at the shortest spot that it was from the hole, you're going to win more shootouts than if you let it fly by. And it's always best to, you want to be pin high. You don't want to be short. But you don't want to be long either. You want to be right there at pin high. Distance is super important. Knowing a lot of, like most of these par threes, there's multiple different ways that we can play them. So we can do a rough bump here, but I'm not interested in that rough bump with that wind because I'm going to have to draw over the sand, and I don't want to have to make that wind adjustment over the sand. So there's numerous ways that you can play it. You can play from the other side over here. But I'm going to play it from right here. So I'm right at max club. I want to be a couple rings off of any transitional surface. Little teeny bit of backspin. Not much, but a little. Going right at it. Okay, it's 6 is a ring set. There's 6. There's 7, 8, 9, 6. I don't need to go quite that far. Hitting it perfect. See if we can bounce over to the other side. Slow down up by the cup. So if I would have stopped pin high, I probably would have been like maybe 0.9 from the cup as opposed to 2.6. So the speed there, if you come back to these holes again, like if you're playing them for the first time or you haven't played that tour for a long time, getting your speed right on these is what's real important. Like how much topspin or how much backspin are you adding on there so that you can always be right at the cup. Don't worry as much about the great to the left or the right. If you're one of those people that hits perfect all the time, if you can get that speed down, you're golden. But if you're not one of those people that hits perfect all the time, then you're always going to be at that shortest distance that your ball traveled through by the cup. And you're going to win more. I don't know if my opponent was giving me the unhappy face because I was actually making a proper wind adjustment or what the deal was, or if they were giving me the unhappy face because they tanked that shot. It was one of the two. So in tournament play, we're going to bring out a big ball here and we're going to try and get over to the other side. But in one-on-one, I'm not going to waste a Titan. In one-on-one, the whole goal is to just lay it up there and come at it with my wood. So it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 6. I'm going to go 3 3/4 rings. And just nothing. Just trying to hit it perfect and hit it one ring great to the right. I'm just laying it up out there. It's a pure layup shot. The best pressure that you can put on an opponent is to stay in the fairway. Because I can tell you right here, there's 2 places on this hole that people epic fail. They epic fail because they're trying to get it over here more and they curl it and they clip the rough and they're far back, or they end up in the rough back here. Typically they'll clip the rough back here and roll out and they'll be long, or they'll overshoot it and they'll be in the rough going forward. And I have no problem using quasars, navigators, katanas, Titan, whatever ball you want to use. But when you get on a hole, look at that hole and go, hey, we're just laying it up out here. You could lay it up out here with a marlin. I don't typically play with white balls because I think, the marlin does cut the wind down a little bit. But for me, it's the side spin. It always gives you that opportunity for that side spin. And I think that's big. Put just a couple backspin on it, maybe 2.5. Going right at the cup. 8-2. Okay, max ring set 6. So there's 6. There's 7-2. There's 8-4. So we're a little short of however many rings that was. Hit it one ring great to the right. It's a great to the right day. I think every shot I take is going to end up one ring great to the right. and just try and put myself up there pin high. Distance is super important. My opponent's got a sniper. They got a little bit of ball guide than me. Sniper 10. Let's check out my opponent. Let's see what they got. They got 10,938 games. They got a 50% win rate, but that doesn't mean anything. They play in a lot of tournaments, so I don't know, and they haven't made the weekend round, so this might be a practice account, or they're just not making the tournaments. So I'm not going to feel, they've got 10,000 games. I'm not going to feel any remorse about going out there with my clubs. They have the same exact clubs as me. If you're a newer player and you want to get up there and you want to follow the stuff that the community says and you want to go become an expert and get more stuff in your chest and you're moving up the tours, then you're going to be playing against expert rated players or masters rated players. And when you catch that person that's a pro, more than likely they were an expert and they've dropped down and they're still playing against experts. So you're going to be playing against people that could potentially have either more games or they've slow played to get to that and they've got more games and they're going to have better clubs than you. So there's no reason in this game to move up. I mean, to go up fast and trying like, I got to get to Tour 7 because that's where you can start getting, you can work the clubs that you have down there. I see a lot of people complain about the clubs that they have, and what's funny is that they don't know how to play the clubs that they have right now. But they want some other club because that club is going to change the world. This hole right here is of all of the par threes in this game, this is the one right here that I think is the most hole-in-oneable hole in this game. And I hope they never change this hole because this is an awesome hole. We need holes like this in the game. We need holes that are fun. Okay, so there's 6. There's 7, 8, 9, 6. And some. Let's try and hit this perfect. Hitting it perfect. Actually focused on it to try and hit it perfect. See if I can stop at the cup. And this isn't a prime example of what I was talking about. So the closest that I was to the cup right there was in the cup. But what am I, like 5 or 6 yards away right now? So the deal is if my opponent hits where they're pin high, left or right, it doesn't matter. If they're pin high, they're going to beat me. So it's all about distance. And I know better in the setup on that. What I should have did was pushed it forward, because when I push it forward, when I put that backspin on, I should have pushed the ball guide forward until it was digging in. Because then when it comes down that hill, it actually is a rough bump off the fairway. Let's see if my opponent got it right. I'm 100% sure that I'm going to lose this. My only benefit there is that they hit off the backside of that hill, and I am not a fan of hitting this hole on the backside of that hill. There is a serious hole-in-one shot on this if you hit from the front. Good game. Let's see if they'll rematch. Come on, man. Come on. ABS for life. Come on, dude. Of course. If you play Tour 7, if you're playing up to Tour 7, so like when you get to Tour 7, the deal is don't worry about where your opponents are at as far as like how many games they have. If you've got up there, like if you're an experienced player and you've rushed up to get to Tour 7 so you can work on your clubs, you know the deal. If you know how to play the clubs that you have, you can be in tournaments, there is a difference, because in tournaments, we're bringing the right ball. We're bringing out bigger balls, right? We've got our bags are specifically set up for certain holes. And so we're changing that around from one hole to the next. And the deal there is that you've got better ball guides. So if you've got upper developed stuff, you got better ball guide, and so you're gonna have a much better chance of trying to sink the Albie on this hole than if you've got a Viper 4. But when you're playing one-on-one, it's a totally different scenario. I mean, and it still doesn't matter. This is still, even though there's a great Albie shot on this hole, people don't make the Albie on this every time they come out here. If you're up there pin high, you're going to force that shootout. You're going to move along. And if you stay in the fairway, a lot of people end up in the rough here, trying to make it around the corner, and they end up in the rough over here. And this hole has been redesigned. Like, this area out here is now out of bounds. The out of bounds used to be right here. And so it was very easy to get, when you went around this corner, to end up out of bounds. And they opened it up too. There used to be more trees out here in this corner. And so people would try and dig around the corner to get out there. And it was very easy to get into the rough or into the out of bounds area. I encourage my viewers to not use your special balls when you're out here playing, to save those special balls for the tournament, because I guarantee whatever that ball has, whatever its stats are, there's going to be a hole that comes up in one of these tournaments, and you're going to go, man, I wish I had, a power 5 or a low wind ball or whatever it happens to be. And I want you to think back of all the times you blew them out here dinking around on T7 or T5. And so from a player's perspective, I dig it when people are out here playing those special balls, because that means that they have less of them for the tournament. Hitting it perfect, which means I have to contend less with balls, these special balls, during the tournament time. I need to put a little teeny bit more overpower on it. But as a streamer, and I've got viewers, I'm encouraging you guys to save those balls. Okay, I'm on and two with an Albie look with a Marlin. You obviously do not need to bring out a special ball. And they're in their wood, and I was in my wood. What is this ball? This is one of the 2020 Winter Major balls. Is this? I'm not sure if this might be a low wind ball. I can't remember all of the special balls that have come out. It's funny, when the game first came out, I mean, a Berserker was like a special ball. I think like the Spider ball was, they came out with the 2017 Labor Day ball, which is like a power, it's wind 3, side spin 2, power. I mean, it was nothing. It wasn't like the special balls we have now. That's in the hole. Oh my gosh. That was almost there. Almost. Luckily for me, that was almost. But if that had went in, I would have congratulated my opponent, clapped my hands, crowd goes wild, nice shot. Encourage your opponent. It's just like when you're out on a regular golf course and you're playing, you might be talking a little bit of smack, but I've got friends that I play with in South Carolina, and we go out and there might be a little bit of betting or something going on out there. Maybe I think there might be. And so, me and one of my buddies, typically me and my buddy Travis, a couple other friends, and we're, we may be talking a little bit of smack and stuff, but we're always encouraging each other and being respectful. Okay, so I got my rock. That wind works for me. Put just a little bit of topspin on it. I'm going to come back just a titch. Right in this neighborhood right here. Okay, it's about 1, 2, 5. 1, 5. There's 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go about this much. Try and hit it perfect. Oh, I hit it good because I was trying to snap it off because I was running out of time. Boom! Look at that. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Talking smack, trying to do the shot. I should have just did the bounce over the island. that wind was marginal with that rough bump. I like to do those kind of rough bumps right there when the wind is when you're dealing with a pure side wind, so that if you make a bad wind adjustment, you're still on the rough. But hitting a 3 or 4 ring great to the right did not help. I'm not sure I didn't hit that good. It was way off. We'll take a loss. We got to lose every now and then. We got to be democratic about it. Let's see if they'll replay. Let's see if they want to go out there and try it again. Good game. See if they'll rematch or if they've had enough. Of course they have. What was I thinking that somebody in our community would want to go out there and replay? Nobody wants to replay. The only replays you can get in this game is when you're playing teammates. And that occasional diamond in the rough that wants to replay. But for the most part, people want to do exactly what Golf Clash says. Quick little duels, one and done. That way they can go back to the home screen and click all the stuff and go back out into the course. Let's pull back enough so that I can deal with the wind here. Maybe 5. All right, let's go back to the deal. Let's take the extra mile. We'll pull it out there a bit. We'll just curl it and do the deal. I have no idea where that's going to go. It's going to end up in the rough. I was way off to the, I was way off on the left. So just smacked it out there. That's switching clubs in the middle of the thing, not doing a good wind adjustment. I knew I needed to be right of where I was at. And I didn't mean to hit it that far to the right. I wanted to hit like maybe a 2 ring great to the right to try and make sure I had enough on there. Not a good to the right, but I'll take it. If you can't be good, be lucky. I was hoping I could get about 6 of that wind out, and then I could just put on a little bit of overpower with the rock and get over there. I wanted to take this shot with my sniper, but I end up a lot on this hole right here. What's funny is that in tournaments, I hardly ever get an Albie on this hole, but in one-on-one play, I get Albies on this hole all the time. And I almost always come at it with my Guardian. We just had this hole in a tournament here not too long ago, and people were trying this rough bump up here, but this rough bump is super dangerous. Seven, 1. 6 is a full ring set. There's 6. There's 7, 2, and a little for the wind. Taking the side wind out, so I'm going to put a little bit of overpower in it to compensate. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. Let's see if my opponent can sink that shot. I'm all discombobulated on this hole. When the last tournament that this hole was in, I was so out. I had so much stuff going on at my house. I was so out of it. I didn't even make the weekend round. And the truth is that I really wasn't too disappointed with it. One of the things about the game, especially if you're putting out content like I do, is that it's a nonstop deal. The tournament gets over on a Sunday, Monday morning at midnight, Sunday night at midnight, and we got like one day, and then stuff comes out for the people that live in a day ahead of us. They're already getting info about the new tournament coming up, and I try and put together a playlist and kind of a walkthrough just to kind of give everybody an idea of what they've got coming. and then trying to play some one-on-one, trying to catch the tournament holes, playing some one-on-one. And I've got viewers that range everywhere from brand new clubs to high level clubs, and trying to put out some content with lower developed clubs and trying to put out content with the upper developed clubs. I just try and play the holes, go out there and have some fun, do my pin chest. My whole goal with the pin chest is if you're doing 8 holes on the pin chest, you should be winning 6 of those 8. The more chests you can win in your time, the better off you are. Fairway to green, fairway to fairway to green. There wasn't anything special there. I didn't do anything exciting, but winner. Opponent makes a mistake, and you got to throw the hammer down. Do not go out there and your opponent does some risky thing, and you're like, hey, I could make that shot. Maybe you could make that shot. And in a tournament, that might be the shot that you have to try for. But when you're out there playing one-on-one, it's really important that you want to win chests. You want to win 66 to 75% of your matches. And the way you do that is to stay in the fairway. You don't want to have to use your rough iron. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at clubs when you're doing it, like driver and wood. Like, what are you looking for? How does that complement your bag? I like coming at it with my rock. Big topper works really well on this hole as well. I want to be 5 rings off. And I'm going to pull back a little so I can take wind out. 4-7. And that's about a ring set. So there's 5, and that puts me right back to the red line. About a ring into power. Max curl. A little bit of overpower. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. And that ball will go right down the middle of the fairway up to the shadows. If we weren't dealing with a headwind, I'd be in the shadows. With the headwind, I'm a little short. The only thing about coming to this hole with a marlin is this next shot, I have to put curl on it to bring it around to the cup. And so my chances of putting it in the hole are not as good because I have to use that word curl. So my opponent's got a power 4, 3 side spin, 1 wind ball, and I can think of a ton of holes where that ball would be awesome. Or a power 5 ball is just a little bit too much, but you can use the wind, and a power 4 ball would work out really well. And they're wasting it out here in a T7 match on a hole that you can use a marlin on. And that ball doesn't give them an advantage. I've got a 1 wind ball. They've got a 1 wind ball. Now, when you're in the rough right here, it might give you an advantage. And they're going to have to do the bounce off of that island. There's 3 different ways that you can come at it when you're on their side. You can bounce off that island. You can do a rough bump, and that rough bump is awesome if the wind's blowing right. You get a really good shot at it. Or you can bring a really big backspin club and try and stick it at the cup. Let's see if I've got enough that I can work that wind out. Okay, there's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. Right back to the red line. I'm going to put some curl on it to bring it back to the cup. Hit a 1 ring great to the right. And it's better to hit a great to the right here because the rough is on the left. And I'm just going to try and float it up to the cup. Put myself in putting range. Fairway to green. Make a putt. With the way the wind's blowing here, I would definitely not want to do the rough bump. I count that Nirvana about 2 per ring, so that was a big adjustment. That was a massive adjustment. I mean, like a massive adjustment from where they originally had set that up. So it should be somewhere right down there, and they hit it great to the right, so that's going to help them. But look how close this ball hits down there compared to where they had set it up originally. That was a big adjustment. Isn't it perfect? In the hole. So up to this point, that ball hasn't helped them. But here's the deal. When they get to the shootouts, most shootouts, think about when we play in tournaments. Most of the shootouts, when we play them in tournaments, we bring smaller balls, at least from the first tee. So in T7, you're playing from the second tee. So there may be a few of those holes that the power 4 ball will help them. But in most cases, a bigger power ball on a shootout on these par 3s is not desirable. We'll see which shootout we get and whether I'm in between clubs or where we're at. They may have an advantage on me here because this hole there is excellent rough bump to do if the wind's blowing right. And it's my opponent's shot. So I may be right in between clubs. I'll probably be in my driver. Which driver did I bring out here? I brought out a rock, so that'll work out good for me. I think my rock, if I'm in minimum club, is somewhere around like, I treat it as like a 1.25 per ring when I'm in minimum club. So we'll see if I'm in between clubs here or if I've got right there at my max. So I'm at max sniper. It's 1 per ring. On just a titch of topspin. Just a titch. 3.7. I'm going to do a full 4 ring pull. I got plenty of room down there, so hit it 1 ring great to the left. Great to the left, great to the right. And it doesn't matter where I end up. I hit in that rough, so I'm hitting in front of my opponent. If we'd have been in a big sand trap and my opponent ends up in the back of the sand trap, I literally will hit in the front of the sand trap. Why I'm out here to beat this person. And the way that works is that it's whoever who shoots closest to the cup wins. And I can't believe we got somebody who wanted to replay. Look at that. They're fired up. They didn't like that at all. Sunshine Glades, hole 7, par 4. Is this the duck hole? This is the duck hole. I definitely do not want to bring out a big enough ball to try and hit over into that area. So I'm going to smack it up from right here. And let's switch. Two, 4, 6, 8. 8. It's about 4 1/3 ring, somewhere in that neighborhood. Puts me about a half a ring into power. A little bit of curl just to bring it back to the fairway. Hit it 1 ring great to the left. Great to the left, great to the right. If I would focus a little bit more on those shots, I'd probably hit perfects more often. But when I'm out here playing one-on-one, the deal is not, if you watch my stuff on a regular basis and I'm out here playing one-on-one and I'm just dinking around, I'm not really that concerned about it because I probably should be. It probably hurts me when I get to the tournaments because I have to actually pay attention when I'm in the tournaments to hit it perfect. But when you're out here one-on-one, the key is not hitting it perfect. The key is staying in the fairway. I can't remember what tournament they came out with those tennis balls. There's a couple of the 4 power balls that I didn't purchase when they were out. There's a couple of them that I like. The werewolf ball, I think that's a 4 power 4 wind. I think it only has like 1 side spin, but there's there's a couple of those balls out there that I didn't buy at the time. They should be able to get up from there. If they have a Spitfire in their bag. Okay, I'm in my Grizzly. So I'm right at minimum Grizzly, which is 1.75 per ring. $1.75, so there's 3.5. There's 7. There's 8.75. There's 8.75. There's 9.8. I'm going to do whatever that was in 2/3 of a ring. And I hit it like 700 rings great to the left on that one. And in the hole. I guess there was a wind adjustment there. Probably with that side wind, and there's a wind adjustment going in there. So if you can't be good, be lucky. Get in the hole. My opponent's got a Sahara. I think when the Sahara gets way up in levels, it's not that bad a club. But the deal is that as it's going up to try and get to that point, you'll end up with, for me, a sand wedge is all about distance, because what's the rule? We want to stay in the fairway. We don't want to have to bring it out. So I want distance, but I also like accuracy. And I also like some ball guide. And I also like some topspin. I find that I use my, let's see if they'll replay. They don't want to go again. Let's see, did I get my pin chest? Have I got my pin chest yet? One away. So I will open up this one and we'll roll that out. See if I got enough time on my video for one more. One more T7. Yep, I do. I'm not sure how many I've won here. I know I lost one. Dinking around on that one hole. Trying to do that rough bump and totally blew that shot. Fairway to green. I find that I use backspin on my sand wedge is not like a big deal. And the little bit of backspin that you get on a Spitfire is more than enough, because the Spitfire hits so high in the air that it's not an issue. But when you're in one of those fairway bunkers, like you're in a bunker like out here, these fairway bunkers, having that top spin and having that stuff on the Spitfire is big. In tournament play, I do a max overpower hook shot on this hole that will get you either right here in front or on the green in one. But you have to bring out a bigger ball. And I can't actually remember how to do it. When that tournament comes out, these holes came out, and then we played them in a tournament. There was, I think, several holes in this tournament, in this course that we did max overpower hook shots on. And I can't remember how to do them. In the drink. Normally, the way to go at it is to go over here. But I will come over here with my rock. I'm going to come out into this area right here. So the wind's going to push me forward. It's going to push me this way, like 10 miles per hour. So let's see here. I put on max curl right there. Where would that go? The wind's going to push me forward this way about 5 miles per hour. I'm going to come out into this area right here. Come out a little bit more so my curl can get on there. And I'm only going to take out 5 miles per hour of the wind. We'll try this out. And I'm going to put the forward moving wind back in it. Let's see if I can stay out of that. And we're going to do max curl. Hit one ring great to the left. And see if I can get over that sand trap and move in a forward direction down the fairway and get up there towards the green. And do the max curl, not max OP hook, just max curl. I love doing those max curl shots. One of the things I like about doing those max curl shots is when you're setting the shot up, your opponent's looking at it and they're going, "What are you doing, dummy?" And then you don't put any overpower on it, and they're like, "Really, what are you doing?" Because people want to get around that bend, and the bend is to the right. So in order to get around that bend to the right, they think they need to get as close to the right as possible to help themselves out. And the reality is that if you want to go a long, you're trying to make a curl shot to the right, it's better to bring yourself further out to the left and open it up instead of pinching it off. Let's see if I can get in from here. What club am I in? I'm in my Hornet, so where am I at? There's max Hornet. There's minimum Hornet, so I'm right at mid. I play at 1.9 per ring at mid. Put on one backspin. Little teeny bit of side spin. I'm going to go right at it. It's 1.9 per ring, so there's 3/8. That leaves me 6. That's about a third. So 1 1/3. Try and hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. I actually focused right there and hit it perfect. And I needed to do about, what, 10%, 20% wind adjustment? So in that situation right there, they're probably better off. They're in max short iron. I usually like to play my short iron so that I'm engaging just a little teeny bit of backspin. And then normally, I've got the Grizzly in here because I'm really trying the Grizzly out, because the Grizzly really is a new club to all of us. Even if you played the game for a long time, the Grizzly's kind of a new club because of the upgrades they did to it. And they redesigned the entire club. And so it's kind of a new club in the bag. Even though I've been playing for 2.5 years, it's a new club. Almost 3 years. Very nice. Nice shot. Nice shot. It's not a good game yet. I still got to make this. Putt the ball to win. Winner, winner. I win 7 out of 8. That's what we're looking for. 6 out of 8 is the goal. We want to be that 75%. So when you're out here doing your pin chest, if you do your pin chest every day and you've got that grinding requirement, good game. Let's go out here. Let's see. What do you get if you're in Tour 7? 10 clan points. So you can do 70. If you did that 70 times 30 days, that's 700 times 3. That's 2,100 points a month. Just going out and playing your pin chest. So if you were a 60, if you won 6, that'd be 6 times 3. That'd be 1,800 plus whatever you get in the tournaments every month, or the 2 times. So 1,800 points just in tour play isn't bad. So going out there and just playing it, just playing to the fairway, and just having fun while you're out there and just dinking around and let your opponents go out there and fail. I find more often than not, if you just stay in the fairway, some people will just beat you sometimes, and that's fine. That's, hey, congratulate them and hey, good job. But more often than not, if you play from the fairway to the green, or from the fairway to the green, you will win 66 to 75% of your matches, and that's what we're looking for. All right, that was just some T7 play. Prepping up for the tournament. We got one more day, and then the tournament starts on Monday. We got the 2020 Community Cup, and it will be an absolutely wild tournament. My plan is to post a video tomorrow with my pre-practice notes, just writing down what clubs and ball I think I'm going to use. And then Monday I will go out in the practice round and just go out there and test that stuff out to make sure that I'm bringing the right balls and clubs. And then start to really work on the wind numbers as the week goes on. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.